I'll call the meeting order, Oromocto Council and Committee meeting Wednesday, 12th of March, 2025 at 5:31 p.m. in the Oromocto Municipal Building. I'll call for a mover for approval of the agenda. Councillor Kirkbride, seconder. Deputy Mayor Mooney, questions? All in favor? Contrary, motion carried. We have presentation tonight by the RCMP and our chief of police.
Yes, definitely. You can ask for me to get a higher salary if I'm gonna be the chief of police. Otherwise, I'll send you somebody with a white shirt. They're a real chief.
Yeah.
I might be a little bit more accessible to you guys. So thank you for having me tonight. So I'm sure you guys will have a copy of the quarterly report. So it's too bad that pretty much at the end of quarter 4 now, we just received quarter 3, so it's all old news, but they have a neat little new format of what it is. You had a chance to have a look at it. Everything looks better. The things I want to point out on page 4 with the occurrences. Most of our occurrences in the area are property crime, which in a sense is a good thing. If you look at the most, I guess the highest occurrence we have is theft under 5,000. Most of those theft are actually shoplifting. Since the Shelton opened up in on the Nevers, it's been 2-3 times a day. So it is very, very busy. Other calls come from the superstore in Oromocto, also keeps us very busy, same with Giant Tiger. So property crime is pretty good. We see frauds, most of the frauds we get is there are more sextortion. We have a lot of people sending nude pictures themselves to random individuals online, and then these people turn around and say, well, I'm going to send that to all of your friends or coworker unless you send me $500. So these people send the money and then they ask for more. So people come to us for assistance. So a lot of the frauds are actually what we're seeing. So we've had a lot of posts on our social media about trying to deter people. First, sending pictures to random individuals, and then 2, if they ask for money, they don't pay it. But it's something that we get on a weekly basis. It's
Really?
oh, definitely. Non-criminal code stuff, obviously, always traffic violation. A lot of stuff on the highway, that from like speeding to passing legally, all of that. So there's definitely a lot of it. We've had a member who's been spending a lot of time around the Neighborhood Road area. So for those that have been in this in the area, that's going to be Q4 information. But with the new legislation we have for impaired driving, where we can go with a provincial thing, this particular member actually got 12 impaired drivers just himself in January in Oromocto. Most of them, actually 11 of them coming out of dualies and 1 from regulars. So there's definitely been more police presence. I think I was talking about it the last time I was here. It's a game changer for us because you can process an entire impaired investigation in 30 minutes or less, rather than spending half an hour roadside and have to bring a person to the office and speak to a lawyer, and then have the test and then issue the paperwork. So it takes 2 members about 4 hours, 3-4 hours. So now it makes it way easier. And we have some members that are they're very good at doing traffic enforcement. So except this particular member has been at dualies quite a bit. And when he's not on dualies, he usually parks by Shelton and Lincoln. So he's always in the area. So we're trying to push on that. And like, I don't know if you've had people complaining about harassment, because we've had people calling us saying that patrons coming out of bars are being harassed by police. Well, we're not forcing you to drink and we're not forcing you to take your vehicle after. And at this point, we're not even hiding. So if you see a police car and you try to drive,
Can't do anymore.
I mean, it is what it is. And I think it's welcome. I mean, if our members have tried a lot to get impaired driving, and for impaired drivers, and they didn't get nobody, then we would assume the problem was not there, but when one single member gets 12 in a month. And considering you work only half the shifts and gets them on night shift, which is 1/8 of a shift, quarter of a shift, then it's kind of.
Bigger problem too.
Yeah, exactly, so, hopefully, we'll curb that, but so there's just to let you guys know. Like I said, it's hard to go with the older stats, like from October, November, and December. We also have our provincial traffic unit that comes by, do special operations for a couple days. There's obviously areas that they love to go to, but as usual, if you have any issues in your area where you definitely could use traffic enforcement, then just let me know. I can always pass it on to them. So say, if you go on page 7, they added new tabs on, like, it's about our OCR, operational communication center or dispatch. There's been a lot of complaints with people being on the phone for this period of time, especially when they call the non-emergency line. We've had issues with staffing our OCC, so we're trying to recruit as much as we can, but there's been an issue. But I like that they're actually putting those numbers in there. So I mean, the average wait was 2:33, which is not too bad if it's a non-emergency call. But of course, it can go from someone answers right away to longer. And obviously, emergency calls are answered right away because they just drop everything they got to answer one. But it's good to have those statistics. Another thing they added was the trend over the last 5 years. Like the numbers are not huge, so it doesn't make much of a difference. Like if you go from the first one Canvas Act go from a 6 to a 14, like yes, it's a 57% decrease, but it's not as relevant as if you had bigger numbers. But like we talked about controlled drugs and substance act, and there's always and will always be a drug problem in the area. I guess, again, it's Q4 stuff, but obviously you guys were aware, we did a drug search warrant at address on Wassas Road last month, where we seized the quantity of drugs, arrested 6 individuals. We're working on it. There's obviously gonna be a drug problem all the time, but we keep working at it. The crime against person, like it's always right around the same numbers. Non-criminal code occurrences, like all traffic stuff. Some members have been giving more tickets and stuff, so that adds to our numbers. Plus, I assume over the last 5 years, the population of the area has increased quite a bit. Well, maybe not quite a bit, but I'm sure it increased. So we have to account for that as well, because people look at the raw data saying, well, there's more complaints this year. Well, there's 5% more complaints, but we have a 7% increase on our population. Then technically the call volume is down. So that's something that we have to be careful. Property crime always up. With the price of everything, we've been seeing a lot more shoplifting. Like we're not investigating theft of gas anymore, which is good on our end because they were very time consuming, but now there's a lot more theft of liquor or theft of groceries. Like we go to, like we get calls from, not so much from Sobeys, but from Superstore several times a week where people steal like a carload of goods. So there's definitely a lot, and drugs bring property crime. People steal from vehicles, they steal from the store so they can sell whatever they have to get drugs, so they usually go hand in hand. There's not much else really that I could talk about in this, but as usual, if you guys have any issues or if you have any questions on any files or feel free to let me know, or I'm ready to answer questions, or if there's something you need to talk to me afterwards or something you don't want to bring up from council and all that, feel free to reach out. I'm not hiding, so.
Any questions or comments, council? I see the Nevers Road is quite,
Yeah,
so there's
well, I
a
mean,
lot of speeding there.
yes, well, Nevers Road's a 60 km/h zone. If you ask anybody who lives there, they'll say people drive 100.
Yeah.
Could it be higher than 60? I'm not the one who decides. I just apply the law, but
Yeah.
60 is, it's easy, especially you have people reaching to the highway or even people going to and from the airport.
Yeah.
Like we do have a lot, like during the day, it's people going to work or whatever, or people are just going to the airport, so it's definitely that stretch it's always been, people speeding a lot.
Especially when the cabbers are going to the airport,
Oh, yes.
because I've seen them blow by me and it's holy smoke. And then they're turned into the airport.
Yeah, no, it's usually the case, but I mean, like we can, like our area is huge, but Nevers Road is usually a place where people speed quite a bit, but having that member in the area all the time, and he doesn't hide either, so it will make it easier in that area.
Yeah, especially now with the Schultz here with the liquor store. I suppose.
Yes, I mean, it's we thought that might be easier having the liquor store moved from the big stop to the shoulder, because I'm sure you've all been to the big stop on a Saturday afternoon in the summer. There's no way you can keep track of anything that's happening there.
Yeah.
There's other issues with Schulten, but hopefully we can figure out the solution, because it's almost like a daily occurrence as well, right?
Now, is there any a large amount of fentanyl around in the communities?
There's probably fentanyl. We haven't seized any, and even like, I think some of it was seized in Fredericton, so usually it goes hand in hand with whatever they have in Fredericton. But we haven't had any issues with overdoses and stuff like that we believe were linked to fentanyl here. Like I said, not saying it's not there, but there's definitely other drugs that are there that might be laced with fentanyl, but there's no indication of overdoses linked to that. Yes, exactly, so.
Yeah.
But again, like they see some in Fredericton the other day, so usually what's in Fredericton goes to Oromocto and vice versa, so it's might just be like overdraw.
Wicked stuff.
Yeah, no, definitely dangerous, but.
Yeah.
Yeah, so does anybody have anything they wanna talk
Any other
about?
questions or comments, council?
Any complaints, anything we should do better? We should be everywhere at all time, every time. Exactly.
Don't harass them. And no.
No, we
Don't
don't.
harass that drinking people.
Well, I mean, you notice that people who are complaining of harassment are usually the people causing trouble. So, I mean, if you drive back from work and you see a police car, like you're pulling you over, doing their job, like you're probably not gonna think they're harassing you, but. That's it is what it is, but no, feel free to reach out. I make myself available. I know when I get emails from town of Oromocto, I usually deal with those, so feel free to reach out.
Okay.
Thank you very much, everybody.
Great. Thanks a lot.
Have a night.
Have a good one. All right, we'll move down to administration. We'll start with 4A, the policy amendments, and we'll pass it to the CEO.
And thank you, your worship. So in your package, there were, I guess, 3 policies here just for quick hits, and really the 3 policies were more just some administrative cleanup for the most part, just to catch some things that either we were doing that wasn't clear in the current policy, or things we weren't doing that we just needed to make sure we remove from the policy. That sort of thing. So really, the three policies, the hiring policy mostly was just to get it was a link to the other hiring policy in regards to non-permanent employees. So there wasn't really a change in the hiring policy per se. But the non-permanent was really changed just to clarity, because there was some people were calling it casual, some people were calling them seasonal, and so we just wanted to create some more succinct language that could be used in all cases. And so there was really that one. And then on the promotion, it was just to, again, improve some things that we're already doing when we do promotions, but again, just to specifically identify what our current processes are within the policy, because it had kind of gotten a bit outdated. So if anyone has specific questions to any of those policies, I can certainly endeavor to try to answer.
Any questions or comments, council? No?
So elsewise, we'll look for next week just to get a resolution on the approval of those three amended policies.
No. Okay. We'll move now to 4B, the employee health insurance. Yes, with the CEO.
Yeah, so this one, just a bit of background for those who read the RFD, but we've been in a process of going and reviewing all the services we provide through town, and this is another one. So you've seen we have new auditors we've used. We've had some, different things like that. Insurance is another one, general insurance. So this one is regarding the insurance that we have with employees, and so we set out just to get some quotes. And so Blue Cross, Municipal Advisory Corp, and then Investors Group, which is really Canada Life, came and we reviewed what they had in comparison to the current, program we had, which we've had for 20 plus years. And in doing so, we're able to find that we're able to get better coverage for a lesser price through, Municipal Advisory Corp, which is essentially Assumption Life, so we knew that a few months ago. And because I wanted to ensure that our employees had a bit of a say, not that they control the decision, but, we have 100 employees. So we did go out and just ask the employees, gave them a synopsis and a comparison. And the majority of them have come back and said, yeah, if I can get increased benefits and it costs me less, I'd be hard pressed to say no, right? So we just, it outlined in the RFD some of the exceeded coverage that we have through what this new plan would give, and they're there like extra vision coverage. There's major restorative on dental, which wasn't part of the coverage currently. Some paramedical limits, that's like your typical massage, chiropractor, therapy type thing. So that's been increased. There is a critical illness component, which we never had before. And the other piece is that we've been able to increase the long-term disability benefits, because the old plan was really getting old. And so that's increased the maximum limit that somebody could get on that plan, so. All in all, everybody is happy to move forward. We just want to bring it through to council because they pay 50% of that bill too. But that being said, I'm going to hope that this group sees the benefit in paying less and giving the employers more is a good thing and not necessarily a bad thing. So really, it was just there. So we want to just get it on record that council's, okay with approval and making that switch. It won't happen overnight. What will happen is you have to give Blue Cross 30 days, but Assumption wants about 60 days to roll it out because they want to take everybody's file, understand how they can help each individual in the transition of, that plan. Because, whether it be somebody who has, specific prescription needs that they've got to understand and transition over. So once we do get this approval through, we probably really won't see everybody transition over to the new plan for about 60 days anyway. Just so people are aware, but yeah, so just looking for that nod of approval next Thursday night on that. And if there are any questions, I'd be glad to take them.
Councillor Don?
Thank you, Worship. Just a question on, it's a really good plan and I'm in favor of it. Is this typically what they offer? It's not something to offer us to entice us and then next year when we're renewing, we're going to find some changes?
There won't be any changes, your worship, on the specific benefits, but like every plan, including the current plan, is they do review every year and there usually is some kind of modest adjustment, just like, based on CPI, for example. In this case, sometimes it's based on claims and sometimes it's just based on the cost of delivery of service, but that would be on every plan. So no, they won't come back and say, oh, by the way, your vision limits now, we're dropping them or anything like that. But there will always be an annual adjustment to the cost.
Any other questions or comments, council? Where's Assumption's head office?
In Moncton.
Oh, it is?
Yeah, they're in Moncton, yeah. Yep. So they're not too far away from that perspective. So that's good too, in case we ever need to actually have a face-to-face. It isn't like we're dealing with a conglomerate out of Toronto or Vancouver or something.
That's what I was thinking. Yeah. Okay, no other questions or comments, council? Then I will. For a mover for adjournment, Councillor Daw, seconder, Councillor Whalen, questions? All in favor? Contrary? Motion carried.